The following is a presentation of Muddy River Sports.
Well, the 25 of 25 countdown rolls on, and we are at number 23 today as we break down the 2015 Quincy High School soccer team's state runner-up finish. Chris Stewart, Matt Shuckman, best finish in program history, and quite a run through the postseason by the Blue Devils, starting with the regional, with the penalty kick shootout victory over Collinsville in the regional title game at Flint Stadium.
It was kind of fun going back, reacquainting myself with some of the YouTube highlights of all of that, because you kind of forget what happened and what transpired along the way.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten the fact that, as a setup for all of this, Riley Roth, who had 23 goals,
I think that was the
and
right
7
number.
assists that season.
Yeah.
Came into this playing as a midfielder the year before.
Right.
And you remember the conversation Matt Longo had with him? Because I went back and looked, because when we were doing television, he was our player of the year for the fall.
That makes sense.
And he said at the end of the regional in his junior year, hey, Riley, you're moving up next year to forward. And Riley was super excited about it.
And he did a great, and if you go back and now and look back at what transpired in the postseason, he scored the game-winning goal, the go-ahead goal, in the super sectional against Tinley Park Andrew. That was at Normal Community High School. And then he scored 2 goals in the state semifinal victory over Bartlett. And I still remember he converted 1 in overtime, and then the game win, what ended up being the game winner one, was a penalty kick.
In double overtime.
In double overtime, yes.
So 3-2 win for them in double overtime.
Correct.
To get them to their first ever state championship game.
Correct. They had finished 4th in 1995, which is the only state trophy in boys soccer program history. Then they went back in 2015, finished as a state runner-up. But when you go back and look at that postseason run as a whole, they were seeded 3rd overall going into that regional. Collinsville was the number 1 seed. Had to come to Quincy, beat them in a penalty kick shootout. Eric Lubert, starting goalkeeper for that team, had 2 tremendous saves. One on a play in regulation, and then in the penalty kick shootout, he made a huge save. And he just, I still remember him leaping up after making that save, and him being just like, I don't know how I did that, kind of reaction. But huge regional title game. And then that sent him on the road.
It did, and they certainly had momentum. And again, kind of the narrative preseason was, where were the goals going to come from? Nobody knew this was going to be the best Quincy High soccer team in program history, and yet it came really organically. You had guys like Chris Clay and J.D. Sohn, who each, I think, had 15 assists over the course of the season.
Yep.
2 of my favorite Blue Devils to watch of all time, especially J.D., on the ball as good as he was.
All-state midfielder and distributed well. You go back to that state quarter, or the super sectional game, against Tinley Park Andrew. He had all 3 assists on all 3 goals, including the one that sealed it. They were leading 2-1, and he played a through ball to Jaden Smith for the breakaway. Jaden Smith, just a freshman, who knew that he would go on and be one of the top 4 scorers in program history in terms of total goals. But man, I still remember that breakaway, and I still remember Matt Longo getting the water bath from his players afterward. Just the celebration, because they knew they were going to the Final Four. And then you go up to Hoffman Estates, and you just don't know what to expect, because you're going up against Chicago schools. You don't know how good they are, and Quincy played phenomenal. One thing I did forget to mention here, in the sectional championship game against Edwardsville that was played at Collinsville, it rained the entire time.
I had forgotten that.
And Braden Noakes there was a scrum, a ball got played in from the corner. I believe it was from the corner. I can't remember if it was a restart or a corner, but got played into the box, got knocked around, and it ended up on Braden Noakes' foot, and he punched it in for a 1-0 victory to win that sectional title game. But it was just such a mess. Even though it was on turf, it was such a mess because of all the rain, and they found a way to win.
Well, I think they were really good at that, and they found different ways to win, because they had pretty good ball distribution and skew with the goals. I mean, we take for granted. You remember how good Drew Chisholm was? And he was like the number 3 option on that team. And you don't usually get that, especially when Matt Longo was worried preseason. Hey, are we going to be able to score at all?
Yeah, well, Braden Noakes, I believe in the regional semifinal game, had 3 goals. He had a hat trick, and it was like, wow, because, he was more of a defensive midfielder at times, went up, was great on corner kicks because of his size and his ability to get up in the air and win balls in the air. But I just remember being around that team all postseason and how much fun they had, and how good it was to see them just believe. They believed every step of the way. They believed they were going to win. Even though they weren't the higher seeded team or when they got to the Final Four, they were going up against Chicago teams, they believed. And it got them to the state title game. Again, Libertyville was a phenomenal team and beat them in the state title game. But to beat Bartlett in the semifinals and just every step of the way is why they earned one of these top 25 moments of the first 25 years of the century.
Well, I remember you talking about the celebration afterwards, too, and the Stratman family and what it meant to Alex and his dad, Eric, obviously being a part of that.
Eric was an assistant coach. Alex was a freshman. And the pictures they took of the two of them together holding that state runner-up trophy, those are irreplaceable moments.
Right. That's just indelible. And again, this is proof positive that sometimes you don't know where or when the history is coming. Sometimes it's easy to know.
Yes.
You know, we knew that in different instances along the way.
Correct.
This was a really pleasant and history-making surprise what Quincy High was able to do. And again, a testament to Matt Longo.
Yes.
And obviously when you are part of the Longo lineage of coaching soccer, you know, those are the type of things that tend to happen in your background.
So again, that's number 23 on our top 25, or 25 of 25. The top 25 moments celebrating sports that we have covered throughout these first 25 years of the century, and we got a lot more ahead of us.
We're not even into the top 20 yet, and they've all been really, really fun and
This
good.
is our third one.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a long way to go, and there's going to be some fun ones to do. So.
Can't wait to see where we go next.
Exactly. So that's number 23. Make sure you check us out here in a couple days for number 22. For Chris Dewar, I'm Matt Shugman. This is 25 of 25.
Muddy River Sports. Our home, our sports.